One night, I had a dream where I made an agreement with the devil, who offered to give me advantages in exchange for my soul. My newfound acquaintance anticipated my desires and fulfilled them. In the dream, curious to know if the demon truly understood art, I had the idea to give him my violin to see if he could play it. To my surprise, I heard a sonata so beautiful and unparalleled, performed with such skill. I felt ecstatic, transported, enchanted, my breath failed me and I woke up. Taking my violin, I tried to reproduce the sounds I had heard, but it was all in vain. So, I began composing a piece of the Devil's Trill which, although it is the best piece of music I have ever written, is very mediocre compared to what I heard in the dream. These words are part of a letter that Giuseppe Tardini wrote to a friend. Giuseppe Tardini was a very famous violinist in his time. He was born in 1692 in Italy, and since childhood, he had violin lessons. He grew up with the instrument in his hand. Nowadays, he is listed among the greatest violinists in history. But an interesting curiosity is that his most well-known piece of music, his masterpiece, is the Devil's Trill or the Devil's Sonata. And according to Tardini himself, he is not the author of this piece. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Interesting Day. Today, we will uncover the story of a music piece supposedly composed by the devil himself. According to Tartine, one night when he was already an adult, he had a dream. In this dream, the devil appeared to him and offered a pact, fame, ideas, inspiration, in exchange for his soul alone. Tardini accepted the pact and sat down for an unguarded conversation to get to know his new friend. At a certain point in the conversation, Tardini, who in the dream was carrying his violin, wondered if the devil truly had knowledge of the first art. Feeling challenged, the devil borrowed the violin and began playing a piece of music. As the music progressed, it became more complex, technical, and intricately crafted. Reaching a point where Tardini was so astounded by the devil's skill, he woke up breathless in his own bed. While still feeling the chill, the violinist rushed to find his sheet music to write down the notes he had just heard. But, as expected, he couldn't remember everything. Firstly, because it was a dream, and secondly, due to the complexity of the music. It was not immediately that Tardini exposed this music to the world. He felt dissatisfied with the result compared to what he had heard in his dream. Even so, when he finally started playing the Devil's Trill in his performances, it quickly became his most well-known piece of music and brought even more fame to him. As he mentions in the letter, despite its success, this piece was still mediocre compared to what he had witnessed in the dream. If you take a moment to research Giuseppe Tartini's life, you will see that he was the typical genius and madman. He invented ghost notes on the violin, discovered new techniques, and was practically a music revolutionary in his time. On the other hand, Tardini had a quite tumultuous life. He secretly married the niece of a Catholic cardinal, faced an arrest warrant, then fled. He was eventually pardoned and returned to Italy, but he had a complicated life. His closest friends confirmed that he was truly bothered by this matter of the music. He desperately wanted to remember, to construct it in any way possible, note by note. That perfect music he had heard in the dream of the pact, but he couldn't grasp it. This frustration caused him to break instruments and sometimes exhibit toxic behavior. That's why some claimed that despite being a musical genius, Tardini was mad. Consequently, Some attribute this entire story with the devil as a result of Tartini's own madness, a product of either madness or a pact with the devil. I'll leave it up to you to decide. The important thing is that this music exists, and to this day, it remains one of the most challenging compositions to perform. To give you an idea, people used to comment that Tardini had polydactyly, that anomaly where people have 6 fingers on their hands. Nowadays, it is known that this is not true. I recommend you listen to the complete music. It starts off very calm and somewhat morbid, and at around 4 minutes, it begins to get more lively. But according to experienced musicians, it is at 8 minutes and 35 seconds that things start to become complex and impossible to play, unless you are an extremely skilled violinist. But for me, the most incredible thing about this music is that at every moment, you will hear 2 sounds, as if 2 violinists were playing. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for joining us on Interesting Day. See you next time.